More than 1 million Jews were shot to death in mass graves in Ukraine.
This has been described as a forgotten Holocaust.
We have identified 1,700 extermination sites, only of Jews, I mean.
This is a place of terrible pages in Ukrainian history. Jews were killed for being Jewish.
We will remember, and we will take the memory with us.
The Protecting Memory project was launched because we felt that the chapter of the mass shootings of Jews in Eastern Europe has not been sufficiently explored. We decided to launch a pilot project to see what kinds of resources it takes to protect the sites, to do the historical research, erect memorial stones, to involve the local residents. So these are living memorials.
My grandmother's family and my relatives were killed in the Holocaust. 9 of them are here in Kysylyn.
Rava-Ruska, 70 years ago, was a very small town. When the Nazis came, first they used to come like every week, and they went to grab the Jews off the street. Bullets were flying. I had to lie flat not to be shot, and they killed everybody. My parents, my brothers.
Rava-Ruska was not a place among many. It was really a huge killing center. But don't forget, every person has been killed as one.
Father Patrick Desbois, the remarkable French Catholic priest who has documented many hundreds of mass grave sites, started his work in Rava-Ruska. Why? Because his grandfather was a German prisoner of war at the site. He was the one who asked us to consider starting to protect sites.
Despite the serious problems we have in our country, we've made it. We're here today, and it makes us happy to think that the people who died here are watching us from above. And I think they'd also be happy about what they can see here. A people that so honors and remembers its past has a great future. That's why this pain touches our souls and our hearts, because today we are fighting for Ukraine's freedom.
We connect these sites to the people around them, the towns and villages from where these victims were taken. This is really the best protection. Not a fence, not a wall, but making it connected to them. It's part of their common history.
We were overwhelmed at the local response to the dedication of these memorial sites. From babies to those who were quite old and could barely walk. Very emotional for all of us.
This history teaches us that we should never forget the terrible deeds of the Nazi regime and that our children must never experience such a tragedy. That's why I think that every person living in the town of Ostrozhets will make this a place of remembrance and will look after this memorial.
People of Ostrozhets, you can be proud. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your caring. It really touches us deeply.
I call on your community, on your children and on your children's children, never to forget history and never to rewrite or whitewash the past. History is what it is, even when it's very tragic.
Very helpful was the education program that was initiated by the Ukrainian Center for Holocaust Studies to help educate local teachers about the history of the Holocaust and about Jewish history in their towns. And as part of the project, teachers in Rava-Ruska, working with students, decided to create a large outdoor exhibition, and the speeches of students were unbelievably moving. Also for the survivor we had with us, who simply didn't expect anything like this.
We will take care of this project in the future because it feels like it's our project that we did, and we will try to spread information to make other people interested. The history of Rava-Ruska is very closely connected to the Jewish population that once lived here. It is important not to forget.
I acknowledge the really historic work that AJC is doing with its partners in the effort to educate Ukrainians about the Holocaust, to remember the role that vibrant Jewish communities played across Ukraine.
It's not closure, but it's a comfort of knowing that my relatives are not only murdered, because they will always be murdered, but they aren't forgotten.
Something very surprising happened during these dedications. We understood that due to the events in the Maidan and the striving for democracy in Ukraine, the integration of Jewish history into Ukrainian history is now seen as part of an historical narrative. And indeed, in many of the speeches held by Ukrainian officials, they referred again and again to the path to democracy and the importance of acknowledging history and in acknowledging what happened to the Jews in Ukraine.
Ukraine has a chance, maybe the last chance, I don't know, to integrate itself into the democratic world. And democratic world means that people are not afraid to speak about the past.
Suddenly everything comes back to me. A lot comes back to me.
I never imagined I would meet American Jewish committee who took this crazy initiative to protect these mass graves.
Democracy depends on historical memory, and without these memorials, the history is invisible.